Canelo, His Excellency has named you and Terence Crawford as one of the top 5 fights that he wants to see this year. Is that a fight that you're considering now?
After today's surprising meeting in London, even people who didn't think it would happen now agree that the biggest fight in boxing is coming up soon. The Canelo and Crawford fight is definitely going to happen in 2025, as plans have begun already. Canelo Alvarez talked to Turki Alalshik today and said there's a good chance he and Terence Crawford will meet. He always says that he wants to get the best deals. Turki Alalshik wants to set up a fight between Alvarez and Crawford for 2025 because it's one of the most important fights that could happen in North America this year. We still don't know if he can make that fight. Turki Alalshik claimed that he has been preparing for a fight against Terence Crawford in 2012. Crawford is getting better after getting hurt and has started training again.
Everything is possible. We'll see. We want to talk about it, sit down really well and figure out something.
I know you.
So, Alalshik wants to meet with Crawford in January to talk about the fight, just like he did with Canelo Alvarez. He also says he still wants to set up a fight between Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, who is the joint 3-belt super middleweight champion, in 2025. He will see if he can do so in the next month or two. Crawford, who is 37 years old, has been trying hard to get a fight with Canelo, but if Alalshik can't get him one, Crawford might have to look elsewhere. There are 2 154-pound winners, Bakram Murtazalia and Sebastian Fundora. They would make great opponents for Crawford to fight in a unification match.
It's kind of a lose-lose situation for you. Do you think he's too small to compete with you?
No, he's a good fighter. He's a very good fighter. He's smart.
I think he's hurt now. We were planning on having something with him. Turki. Alalshik said of Terence Crawford, I will talk about it with him maybe in January. I saw him last week in Hague. He said he has a little injury, and he's starting to rehab now, and he's working again. He's one of our plans to see him fight in 2025. We hope he wants this fight, so why not? When asked if the goal is for a fight between Crawford and Canelo Alvarez next year, we will see in the next month or 2 months. Let's see, said Turki about his possible deal with Canelo.
And I take everything seriously, but we'll see what happens.
Canelo, I hope you make it happen for us, because we want to see it.
Thank you.
This news comes after Crawford stepped up to 154 pounds last summer and beat Israel Madrimov for the WBA super welterweight title. That one made Crawford a 4-weight world champion. Now he's willing to jump up to more weight classes to 168 pounds to face Canelo. Crawford wants to be the first fighter to beat Alvarez, super middleweight. Canelo didn't want to talk about Crawford before his latest fight with Edgar Berlanga. He won that bout by unanimous decision, keeping his World Boxing Council, World Boxing Association, and World Boxing Organization belts. The match between Canelo and Alalshik is a big deal. Alalshik has been a key player in most of the major boxing events over the past year. Their talk says the Crawford fight might be closer to happening.
Stuff about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and won. He went up and lost. So let's not do that.
Both athletes want to fight in the spring. If they're going to face each other, they'll need to agree soon. Turki could meet a roadblock with Crawford if he asks him to take on one of the killers in the 154 pounds division, like Bakram, Virgil Ortiz Jr., Charles Conwell, Erickson Lubin, or Serhii Bohachek. After the hard time Crawford had against Israel Madrimov, he's not going to want to mix it with any of the other dangerous guys at 154. His size, skills, and power don't work for him in this weight class like they did at 147.
Making his own catch weight for years. Canelo fought a smaller Mayweather. Canelo fought a smaller.
Also, these are better fighters than the guys Crawford had been facing since moving up to 147 in 2017. If you analyze Crawford's resume at welterweight, he really didn't fight anyone important other than a washed-up Errol Spence and Sean Porter. Crawford, 37, has yet to say what he'll do if he can't get the fight with Canelo. We know that Terence's age and fighting at 154 against younger, stronger, and bigger fighters will finally result in him losing. He almost lost his last fight, his debut at 154. against World Boxing Association junior middleweight king Israel Madrimov on August 3rd last year.
Not Amir Khan, but Amir Khan.
Yeah, he did. He did at 155. Yeah.
Amir Khan. You know, he fought so.
It's always a chance there. We'll see, but there's always the chance, said Canelo Alvarez to Ring Magazine when asked if a fight between him and Terence Crawford is possible next. I think it's going to be another good fight. Both fighters are good fighters, so I think both have a chance to win, said Canelo. On the February 22nd rematch between undisputed light heavyweight champion Artur Beterbiev and Dimitri Bivol in Riyadh, the former division world champion Crawford wants to face Canelo for his unified super middleweight titles this year. He thinks he's got the skill to overcome his size disadvantage. Crawford thinks he's got enough size and skills to beat Canelo.
Jermell Charlo, and I'm pretty sure he didn't make as much money with all those guys except Mayweather.
The Mexican star is showing signs of slowing down in his last two fights against Edgar Berlanga and Jaime Munguia. These are fighters that Canelo would have likely knocked out in 2021 and earlier, but was forced to go the 12-round decision to beat them, with Canelo and Crawford both looking to fight in the spring. It is possible that they would want a fight to be agreed upon soon if it does take place. In an interview on Sway's Universe, Canelo states he is more than ready to face the four-weight champion if the money is right, but warns his rival that the contest is easy money if they do meet in the ring.
Why not? Why not? I think Crawford, don't get me wrong, he's a great fighter. But for me, in my weight class, it's an easy fight. For me, easy money. So if the money is right, I'm in.
I'm in. Why not? Don't get me wrong. He's a great fighter. But for me, in my weight class, it's an easy fight, easy money. If the money is right, I'm in. Because I don't like to fight guys like Crawford because he moves a lot, and the fight is not that great. I saw in his last fight, and he doesn't move that much now, so if the money is right, I'm in. Right now, there are weight groups for a reason. Well, it looks like miracles do happen. After all this time, and countless failures, it looks like boxing fans will get the fight they have been aching to watch. Only a few weeks ago, the rumors of a possible 2025 fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford took over the internet.
Berlanga right now, that he will with me, but yet and still, you know, he have all these excuses.
The internet has been going crazy ever since the reports started floating around, but we never got any official announcement regarding the same. However, it looks like the official announcement is not far away, as boxing insider Rick Glazier shared substantial information regarding the fight and gave every boxing fan something to cheer about in 2025. Glazier took to his X and revealed being told by a very reliable source that the Canelo-Crawford chance has greatly increased in the last couple of days. He shared that the talks between both camps are progressing smoothly, and we can expect an official announcement pretty soon. Glazier further revealed that both camps are seeking either the May or September date.
Because, you know, I don't like to fight guys like Crawford because he move a lot and the fight is not that great. I saw Crawford the last fight and he don't move that much now. So
if signed, no word if it would be May or September. The World Watches, wrote Glazier. Expectedly earlier reports stated that Canelo Alvarez's sign is targeting a Cinco de Mayo date sometime around May, when a user further asked Glazier if he thinks the fight will be in Las Vegas. The matchmaker answered, more than likely. While there is no information regarding the venue, reports have suggested that His Excellency Turki Alalshik also wants the fight to happen in Las Vegas at the T-Mobile Arena, considering that the Unify super middleweight champion has fought 5 of his last 6 matches in Las Vegas. This rumor does not seem too far-fetched.
Surprised if that fight happens. I think His Excellency has been pushing that fight. It didn't seem like it was something that Canelo was really up for, to be honest. And like, when I've spoken to Canelo before about...
While there still has not been any official statement, judging by Glazer's report, we can expect it in the coming days. It will be a huge deal, and even though it is still a rumor, the boxing world is excited about it. Not only fans, but even professional fighters and promoters want this match to happen and had shared their views on the dream fight in a conversation with Fight Hype Match Room on show. Eddie Hearn predicted Canelo Alvarez as the winner of this fight. According to him, Crawford can't really come to fight in that fight because he's at a huge, massive size disadvantage.
I think he's kind of feeling when I beat Crawford, everyone's going to say I've beaten a 154 pounder. And he also, I think...
According to the British promoter, the weight limit would be too much for Terence Crawford to beat at 168 pounds. Additionally, the huge power edge that Canelo Alvarez holds over him will also prove costly. Andrade also had the same views on the fight. He told Fight Hub TV, "I like Terence Crawford. He's been a great friend. However, when it is about weight classes, that stuff is real. Canelo is a big bad Volv. I think Crawford has the skills, but when it comes to Saul getting shots and blocking his power shots, Canelo knows how to move to and termed it as a losing battle for Crawford. While he feels that it will be an interesting and tough fight, Andrade thinks Canelo will eventually be the winner." The World Boxing Council interim light heavyweight champion David Benavidez, who also wants a fight with Canelo Alvarez, shared his thoughts on the possibility clash. Benavidez also had the same thoughts and referred to how Bud is already struggling at 154 pounds despite acknowledging Crawford's greatness. According to him, if Bud has to move up 2 or 3 more weight classes to fight Canelo, he will be at a big, huge disadvantage. Crawford is a one-of-a-kind fighter, but weight classes must be honored. I'd give Canelo the edge, claimed Benavidez. While the whole boxing world is excited about the fight, experts think that the result is predetermined. However, Terence Crawford boasts an exceptional record of 41-0 and has upset the odds many times before, so these predictions do not take that much away from the fight.
A massive, massive size disadvantage, and you can't be standing in front of him. I don't think that fight will happen, but then when you think about it, what are the options for Canelo Alvarez?
Benavidez.
Yeah, but I don't think that's going to happen either. He's
one of the biggest bouts boxing can make a mega event featuring one of the sport's faces in Saul Canelo Alvarez and one of its very best pound-for-pound talents in Terence, but Crawford may be closer than ever. This is because Canelo looked open to the fight when talking to a reporter on Saturday, the 11th of January, on the red carpet ahead of the Ring magazine's relaunch and award ceremony in London. The event attracted some of the most important figures in the fight game, from boxing financier Turki Alalshik to legends like Lennox Lewis and its most notable stars like Shocker Stevenson, Daniel Dubois and, of course, Alvarez himself. Canelo remains one of the biggest ticket makers and pay-per-view generators throughout all combat sports. Since a loss to Dimitri Bivol in 2022, the Mexican boxer rebounded with 5 wins in a row over the likes of Gennady Golovkin, Jermol Charlo, and Jaime Munguia, among others. He has, though, attracted criticism for apparently avoiding one of the biggest threats to his super middleweight world championship belts, as a super fight with David Benavidez continually fails to bear fruit. There are only a handful of opponents, at best, who can partner with Canelo to generate a pay-per-view event that perhaps breaks that mythical 1 million sales barrier in the US market, and one of those names is Crawford, who scored one of the most meaningful wins in the modern boxing era when he completely battered Errol Spence Jr. in 2023.
Each other, and then we wanna see what happens.
And when do you want to get out next? I know you're here in London tonight. When are you going to be in a camp? When are you going to be in a camp? I know.
To now, Canelo has stayed pretty tight-lipped on whether he'll fight Crawford or not. There's always a chance there, he said on Saturday's red carpet. We'll see. We're here to make the best deals. There's always a chance. If Canelo and Crawford were to fight either Saturday, the 3rd of May, or the 10th of May, 2 of the weekend dates closest to Cinco de Mayo, a key part of boxing's calendar, are open. But Canelo is perhaps waiting to see what happens with the outcome of a 22nd of February fight between light heavyweight rivals Artur Beterbiev and Dimitri Bivol.
Training camp in March.
Okay, so
at the beginning of the middle of the February or March, yeah.
Beterbiev beat Bivol in the first fight last year. Canelo may want dibs on Bivol next so he can try to score revenge in a rematch. Both fighters are good fighters, he said, commenting on next month's undisputed light heavyweight championship battle. I think both have a chance to win. It was a sensational 2024 with some of the biggest 10 best fights being made across all classes, including 2 installments of Tyson Fury vs. Alexander Usyk and Artur Beterbiev vs. Dmitry Alalshik. He has his eyes on a huge 2025, having a star-studded lineup of boxes. An instrumental figure in making the fights happen has been Saudi boxing chief Alal Sheikh, chairman of the General Entertainment Authority, who has handed the sport major financial backing. Politics have been put to one side with organizers working together so the biggest and best fights are being made globally. Riyadh season, a Saudi entertainment festival time, has been the destination for many of the fights, which have also landed at Wembley in the UK and the BMO Stadium in the US. Alalshik is set to lead a campaign for more huge events.
Yeah, I can't rap. That's what I'm saying. So I gotta stick to what I know. I beat people up. Oh God. I beat people up. Yeah.
The first huge card of the year lands on February 22nd, led by the Beterbiev and Bivol rematch, and it also features Daniel Dubois and Shocker Stevenson. Alalshik wants to continue the progress this year and has named 5 fights he'd love to see before 2025 has come to a close. I want to see Chris Eubank Jr. face Conor Benn. I want to see, of course, Tyson Fury vs. Anthony Joshua. He said on Frost on Fighting that he wants to see Canelo Alvarez vs. Terence Crawford. And I also want to see Devin Haney vs. Ryan Garcia, a fight for Alexander Usyk. He will wait for the card of February. He is set he wants to fight 1 or 2 more fights, and I would like to see the Dubois return. Eubank Jr. and Benn are currently in negotiations over a showdown, but a breakthrough has yet to be made over the possible event, which would likely be held in the UK. The pair were supposed to meet in October 2022, but the fight was cancelled after Benn failed a drugs test. But the rivalry has been huge ever since. Haney and Garcia have naturally been thrust together since their meeting in 2020 saw the latter dispatch the winner.
35, 40, 47, 54. Sooner or later, it's one too many. And 68 is definitely too many. But Crawford's brilliant. Like, he's a genius. He's a generation.
But he too failed a drugs test, and naturally, it has led to widespread calls for the pair to do fight again. The heavyweight riddle remains a key part of the sport, with Dubois calling out Usyk by clambering in the ring after his rematch win over Fury. Dynamite himself was unlucky against Usyk after a controversial low blow marred the event, but he was eventually stopped in 202, although he wanted revenge. But the main event in 2025 could well be a huge clash between Joshua and Fury, two British heavyweights whose rivalry has captured the imagination for several years. The pair both will need a rebuild after respective defeats, could generate huge paydays with the fight likely to have huge commercial interest, and TalkSport host Spencer Oliver thinks the pair should fight with an opportunity to get themselves back in the world title mix. Listen, I think the winner of Tyson Fury vs. Anthony Joshua puts himself back in the world title mix. Oliver said on the latest episode of Talk Boxing, I do think that fight happens next, and the winner of that could get an opportunity. Let's say Alexander Usyk is now out of the game if he sails off into the sunset or beats Daniel Dubois.
Great, so maybe he can find a way to do it, but I feel he'd be hugely outsized against Canelo Alvarez. Yeah. But you have to use your movement. Crawford in that fight, the last thing you want to do is stand and trade. He'd be moving a lot in that fight, trust me. I'm not saying he'd be running, but he would be moving a lot. Of course, that's the way to beat him.
Canelo, is there anybody in the camp that would say, you're not ready for this?
That's a big boy. He's strong. That's a conversation. It's not just, oh man, you'll whoop his ass.
Like yes, man type stuff.
I'm not worried about Canelo. I'm not thinking about Canelo. I'm just focused on Israel Masvidal.
In a small way, is this a stepping stone to your dream fight?
I don't look.
You were asking if Daniel Dubois is the next man to take the baton as the heavyweight king. Tyson Fury vs. Anthony Joshua fight winner could still receive a world title chance. The winner of Joshua vs. Fury will have a great shot against Daniel Dubois just because he put AJ out. You can't say that will go again, and you can't write Fury off after his losses to Usyk. He could still very much be the second best heavyweight in the world right now. What are your thoughts on the upcoming fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez? Do you think Turki Alalshik will be able to successfully fix the biggest matchup? What are your thoughts on Terence Crawford jumping 3-weight from super welterweight to super middleweight to meet Canelo Alvarez? Who do you think will emerge successful in the fight when it happens? Let's know your ideas in the comment section, and that's all for now for the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing. Stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on alerts to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.